Hello, my name's Princess Sherbert, also known as Sherby, aka the Grey Warden, aka Hero Ferelden, aka the Champion of Kirkwall, aka Hawk, aka your Inquisitor, and welcome to my channel. We're talking about Mother Dragon Age today. Let's get into it. So this is going to be a very condensed recap on Dragon Age as a series and what you need to know while playing Veilguard, or if you've never played another one, what's it like when you're watching gameplay of it. If you personally want to see me play Veilguard, I will be trying to stream it at the end of the month, and then I'll be posting gameplay here. My Twitch channel will be down below in the description. Or if you're too lazy and you just think about it, I will be on Twitch at Princess Sherbert. I keep all my socials very Princess Sherbert, Sherby, Princess Sherbert, easy to find. You know, redhead, tits out, basically, is how you'll find me. To start, what you need to know from Dragon Age Origins is Grey Wardens need people because there's a blight going on, there's an archdemon, and all of Thetis will be killed if you don't join up. And you get forced, no matter what background you choose, you get forced to join. Sorry, get fucked. The person who trains you to be a Grey Warden, he ups and dies during a big fight. So then it's like you and one other Grey Warden, Alistair. Hi, Alistair. What you doing tonight, baby? Stuck trying to find allies. You have to get the mages on your side. You have to get dwarves on your side. You have to go around basically all of Ferelden, and Ferelden's where the game takes place. If you don't know that much, sorry, you might be a little confused. Ferelden is a place. Orla's also a place. We'll get into that in Inquisition. But you have to go around and get these allies and do a bunch of quests and solve politics, or, you know, save Cullen from mages because he's being tortured by them. Hi, Cullen, what you doing later? And that's it. That's you gotta get allies and then save a bunch of people or let a bunch of people die. I don't think Origins choices are gonna matter that much in Veilguard. I'm sorry. I love my Grey Warden. I love my hero so much. I think canonly, she is dead. I think either the canon version she died in the Blight, or not the Blight, but like sacrificing the Archdemon, or the Calling got her now in Veilguard. Sorry, they're not bringing our Grey Warden back. I don't want to be that person, but they're not bringing her back. Or him, I guess. You picked a guy. Good for you. Anyways, I think they're dead. I need to know, more importantly, I think will be a bigger thing, if Alistair is king or not. I think that's going to play a big factor, and that's a choice you make in Origins, so it might ask you to start a game, like, is Alistair king or not? And, you know, that's it. I make Alistair king. I think he's a good king. I love him so much. You make choices, you kill the Archdemon, you're the hero, you're either dead or alive. That's all you really need to know about Origins. Dragon Age 2. Dragon Age 2, you play as one character named Hawk. You don't get to pick your race. You're a human. Get fucked. And I think canonly you are a mage because of the Mage Rebellion that happens in this game. The Mage Rebellion that happens in Dragon Age 2 is a big ordeal in Inquisition, and I feel like it will become a bigger, not bigger, but it will be a more background information in Veilguard, so that's why you need to know about it. So the issue that the Mage Rebellion happened is Templars, which are basically knights or guards of mages, they're like police of them, basically. In Kirkwall, where the story takes place, it's a city, and a lot of people from when the Blight happened moved up north to the Free Marches because it's supposed to be safer. So that's why there's so many people in Kirkwall now. The city's overrun with more mages, more people who are scared and frightened. Tensions are very high. Even though I think Kirkwall, I want to say Dragon Age 2 is like, what, 10 years, something like that. It's like a whole, you're there for like half a decade at least. And you help Hawk make these choices if you want to support the Templars more, if you want to help support the Mage Rebellion more, and it feels like either way in Inquisition, even if your Hawk did technically pick the Templar side, it feels like in Inquisition there's still very mage rights in that game, so that's why I personally think Hawk is a mage who did go with the mages, and one of your companions blows up the Chantry, which is like church for them. Chantry is church. Andraste is like Mother Mary and like Jesus and God, and like they're very important. They'll probably talk about in the game. You really don't need a giant explanation of that religion, really. I really hope not. I'm so sick of Andraste, save me. So sick of it. I really am. Cullen's back. Hi, Cullen. Welcome to the city, boo-boo. You're about to get traumatized again. And you might get to see Alistair if he's a warden. And maybe also Liliana. Liliana's more important in Inquisition, personally. So your companion Anders, if you decide to have him as a companion, blows up the Chantry. The Mage Rebellion swells. Like, as you're thinking you're making peace, this fight breaks out. And then you have to kill the Templar commander and the Mage commander. So technically, which side you pick didn't really matter in the end. The rebellion happens no matter what. That's Dragon Age 2 if you boil it down. Inquisition now is where it gets much more complicated, which I think will make more choices into this next game, because it was the most recent game, so that makes the most sense too. For Dragon Age Inquisition, you have no idea what the fuck is happening, and there's a reason why. So what your hero was supposed to do with their clan, group of people, whatever, was come to the Conclave, which was supposed to bring Templars and Mages together. It was supposed to be like, let's make peace treaties, like let's make amends, how can we help each other? And then the area they go to, the Conclave, blows the fuck up again. And God, I remember when I first played that intro, I'm like, who let Anders in here? Who let Anders back? Blowing everything up. That was my whole thought process that whole time when, like, you start at the menu and it just, yeah, I was like, who let Anders go to this? Like, dude, why are you so dumb? Why are you like this? But it's not. We don't know what happens when the game starts. But basically what happens is that this all-powerful monster, Corypheus, who comes from a DLC for Dragon Age 2, which I didn't know about when I first played Inquisition. So I'm like, who is this fucker? Because I didn't have money for DLCs growing up. We didn't have money for DLCs. You got the game, you didn't get the extra shit at the time. So I had no idea who this fucker was. Had to look it up at like 14 and everything. And so Corypheus comes back. He's just back. Because Hawk basically fought him, thought he killed him. No, he's back. Good job, Hawk. God, you couldn't even save your own mother, sister, / brother, / anyone. Just your dog and maybe Anders if you romanced him. God, Hawk. Do something right. I'm gonna get shit for that. So you don't know how the Chantry blow up. You suddenly have a fucking mark on your hand that, like, helps close rifts, I guess, because Solus, who, spoiler, is technically the bad guy in the next game, and this one, in my opinion, he broke Lavellin's heart. I don't care. Which is why that's canon. And so you're trying to, like, you're closing rifts, you're trying to figure out at the start what happened, like, and then, as you're trying to, like, gather allies to make the Inquisition better, you have to pick the Mages and Templars again. This game is like, do you support mage rights? If not, you're a fucking bigot. Which, I'm not saying that's actually what you are, kind of. The choice doesn't really matter. I think it will matter more in Veilguard as, like, how Souls reacts to it, or maybe how the world reacts, but I don't think it technically affects gameplay. I think both stories are kind of cool. In the Mage version, you get to go forward in time to see how awful Corypheus is. In the Templar version, you get to, like, see how Corypheus would have manipulated you into doing a bunch of shit. Both are really cool. That's it. Commander Cullen is back. Yes, the same Templar Cullen. Cullen, are you ready to romance now? And he is. Yeah. Even though I don't think he's canon. He's not the canon romance. It's Solus. Sorry. You make a bunch of choices. You help close rifts. You help save the fucking Empress of Orlais. Or don't. That's up to you. Spicy little thing if you didn't save her. And then you get to help choose if one of her... This is where I think it's more important. If one of her, I think consorts, it's her girlfriend, basically, if she's going to team up with her or not, because she's an elf. I think that will matter in Veilguard. I don't know how yet. I'm hoping we either get, like, a sweet perk, or it's, like, you know, all the elves are just like, fuck Orlais, fuck you guys. Which they could. They really could. I wouldn't blame them either. They're basically, like, slaves in certain areas. In Orlais, they're servants. In Tevinter, they're slaves. Politics, am I right? Free elves. I don't give a fuck about mages. Free the elves. That's what I care about. You do all these bunch of quests, you fight dragons, you have a grand old time, and then you find out if you're romancing Solus about the tattoos on your face when you start at the Dalish are actually slave markings from the people you thought were gods in the Dalish, like, origin. No. They're just, like, powerful fucking mages who are like, you are mine, face tattoo, cool ass tattoos, get fucked. And so you're like, your character's obviously taken back by this because they're like, wait, what the fuck? These are slave markings? And you want to remove them? And you get to choose. I personally always pick, because I'm like, this is why I also think it's canon for, like, the romance with Solus, and to remove the markings from your elf's face, because I think it's symbolic to Veilguard in the next story where Solus is like, I want to free my people, and I think you are the first to be freed, basically, is how he sees it. Because he loves you, and he thinks you're great, and then you think you're going to get naked with him, and he breaks up with you! He broke up with us! My elf deserved better, Solus, you egg-shaped bitch. And you fight Corypheus. You get to the big fight. You fight his dragon that everyone thought was an archdemon again the whole time, but now it's just his fucking, like, pet dragon that's part of him. You fight the dragon. You fight Corypheus. He's dead. Actually dead. The orb was destroyed that, like, blew up the conclave. I don't know if I mentioned that. Corypheus used an orb to blow up the conclave that was actually... I'll get there, actually. Hold on. And then you talk to Solus, and he's like, the orb is broken. We were supposed to try to save the orb. And you're like, maybe we can repair it. It's done. Or, like, you get to pick whatever. And he fucking dips no matter what you do. He just dips. You can be besties, romance, absolutely have negative, like, points with him. He fucking dips. And then he's just gone. Like, the game continues after the main story. Like, you can do, like, other quests you didn't finish up, go to other places, you know, do the DLCs and shit. And he just dips. He's just gone from your party. They're like, bye. Deuces, and he, like, fades into existence. And then you get the Trespasser DLC that technically, like, finishes the game. So this takes place 2 years after you've defeated Corypheus. You're at the Exalted Council. They're trying to decide if the Inquisition should, like, keep going or not. And you, either way, I don't think it's gonna make, like, much difference. Because if you publicly, like, are like, you bye, fuck, disband us, Liliana and you, just like your spy master, just start it up anyways, or you stay public, I don't think it's gonna make that much of a fucking difference, really. I really don't. I feel like it was just dramatic for nothing. And while you're there trying to decide if you want to do that or not, the Qunnaris attack, or like are planning attacks and shit. And so they're trying to start a war. While you're dealing with this shit, you just technically, like, brought peace to Thetis, and they're like, war. War, war, war. War never changes. And you're trying to figure out what the hell they're doing. I thought we were at peace with them. What's going on here? And then, so you defeat them, and then you find out, you can find out along the way if you do context clues or, like, search around the area. Solus is Fen'Harel, which is one of the gods. One of the gods in Dalish culture. He's literally one of the fucking ancient-ass gods. And your character is like, I almost slept with a god? Baller, honestly. Baller Inquisitor. I fuck with you. You defeat, like, you, like, try to follow the Qunari leader who's, like, been doing all this bullshit, and you find out, because you run into him, Solus has been, like, stopping them to, like, make sure this stuff doesn't, like, fuck with you, or you're, like, guys, this shit, because he's trying to do his own agenda in the background. So you catch up with him, you have a moment where you can find out a bunch of shit, ask a bunch of questions. If you have negative feelings with him, you can just be like, and you just, you know, it's like, okay, whatever, I'm not telling you shit then. Or it tells you, like, a super sped up version. It's really funny when you pick that option, honestly. Romance one, you get, like, this whole, like, sweet monologue. And he's like, I wish I could take you with me. And it's like, you liar! Liar! I'm only a tad upset, okay? God, he only broke my heart at, like, 15 or whatever. It's fine. Cullen, you can marry and have a fucking dog with in the countryside. But no, everyone's like, we pick Solus. Fuck. The time your mark is becoming, like, the mark on your hand I talked about that helps close the rifts, that thingy, yeah. That thing is becoming unstable. So he just, like, fucking Lego takes off your arm. It just makes, like, that noise it does. He just, like, cuts your arm off. And I don't know what happens to the arm. We don't actually know. Your Inquisitor just shows back up with it missing. So either he took it or it's just laying there. I bet he took it. I like the personal, like, opinion. I've seen a fan comic of this before where we go to the Black Emporium. It's like the secret, like, black market shop. And we just give him the arm for this tiny bear in there named Chauncey. That's what I think is canon. Because I just believe we deserve Chauncey more than that dude. And so yeah, Solus is the bad guy. And you gotta fucking deal with it. And now you have to deal with him in the next game. And I'm still bound in the next game that I don't get to romance Varric. You can't let me have the dwarf. Like, I met him in Dragon Age 2, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's like, we're doing like friends to lovers, right? Then in Inquisition, I was like, oh, okay, like, you know, he's here, he's very important to the story. We get to romance him now, right? Right? No, he's still hung up on Bianca? Sure, cool, okay. Whatever. Douchebag. And I'm like, oh, shit, yeah, finally, third game, like Cullen, we're gonna be able to romance Varric in, like, his third game of the series. No! He is not on the companion list. He is not romanceable. It sounds like maybe like a voice in our head or someone was like thinking, I don't know, I'm trying not to look at spoilers, but like, what the fuck? I don't get to romance him again? Anyways, so yeah, that's my chaotic retelling of Dragon Age, what I think is important, what's not. I'll try and make this as funny as possible. Some fucking bro in the comments gonna be like, oh, you missed this important fucking detail. I don't give a shit. Make your own fucking video. Thank you for the view in the comment, though. Love you. Thanks. Thank you, cutie. Thanks for coming. Bye. Anyways, like I said, I will be... My cat just, like, shook my whole table. Anyways, I will be playing Veilguard, so you'll see gameplay stuff with that, in my opinion, at the end of the month. Maybe even watch me play it on stream. We'll see how that goes. I'm really hoping the game's not a buggy fucking mess. EA! You've already fucked over my Sims franchise. Don't do it again with Dragon Age. Anyways, my name's Princess Sherbert. Thank you for watching.